through a lot of work and collaboration. This bill reflects the original intent of the bill, but also taken into consideration the comments and concerns of the opposition. My staff and I have worked many hours, many days, and have come to a nice agreement. This bill does two critical things. First, it allows these small nonprofit performing arts organizations to enter into a grant program. As we know, the COVID-19 pandemic has devastated these nonprofit organizations. They were not able to open last year and really rely on fundraising efforts. And so this bill really is a lifeline to help them stay open and help them take care of their employees. Under this program, this bill focuses on the smallest, most vulnerable in our communities. And it does really give them some hope so they can continue and be successful. Once it's established, all the organizations can pay into this paymaster that will be created, and it will also be cost neutral as they enter into this paymaster program. By creating economies of scale, participating nonprofit organizations will be able to cut down on their administrative costs by using the same program. Colleagues, I also want to share that this is a little bit personal to me. I grew up in downtown Los Angeles at a time where drugs, violence, everything you don't want your little girl next to was very prevalent. And I was a very creative child, very expressive, and I was able to put that energy into positive ways, and I found the arts. And so luckily, because I had that outlet, I was able to do positive things with my life. But I also know that these organizations are really not only helpful to themselves, but also to the surrounding businesses and communities. I started about 20 years ago when Casa 01 and the heart of Boyle Heights came in a community that wasn't desirable at the time. Again, it was a lot of gangs and drugs at the time, but I saw the labor of love of these organizations, not just in Boyle Heights, but across our states. And there's about 2,000 that will benefit from this program. And I also wanted to share that when I was there at Casa 20 years ago, it was incredible to see how Josefina Lopez, who opened this little theater, embraced all those artists that didn't have any experience. Literally, she took all those kids that didn't have a place to go and really offered a safe place for them to come and learn. Really, it also gave a voice and a platform to all those artists that didn't have experience. They wanted to go further. But I also know that this is not just about money. It really is about equity and access to those disadvantaged communities, as well as social justice. I know traditionally the performing arts have been a powerful tool for those voiceless. And historically, major social movements in our nation's history have relied on performing arts to elevate their cause and tell their stories. We can go back to the women's suffrage when they were engaging wealthy, affluent families to join their cause and help their movement to bring equal rights to women. The civil rights movement was also known as an era of creative activism. They used everything in their power. They used theater, strong imagery, poetry, spoken word, because they wanted to convey their story and what they needed in return. El Teatro Campesino is a small nonprofit that started in the fields and helped organize the farm workers to get better pay and better working conditions. And during this pandemic, a lot of the nonprofit organizations that are now threatened to close were used by communities to educate. For example, Casa 01, as I stated, in the heart of Boyle Heights, was hired by LA County to educate about the vaccine and COVID-19. So to me, it is undeniable that performing arts go hand in hand with social movements and play a critical role in our society. At a local level, they provide access to poor, underserved communities. They invite schools and provide classes and workshops to our children that otherwise would not have an opportunity. And as a classroom teacher, I can share with you that the arts, little by little, have been disappearing in our schools. And so we need these organizations to continue to be partners and continue to educate to create well-rounded individuals.